Hey there, my friends. In this episode, I'm actually going to break down and share what's really needed to build a high quality and loyal team online. And you know what? It's actually more than leads and sales, right? Most people are like, well, I want to build this large team and organization. It's going to take a lot of leads. It's going to take a lot of sales. But I'm here to say, yes, leads and sales are important. But what most entrepreneurs overlook and miss is the whole idea of the customer journey and what that looks like from beginning to end. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down how to really map out and create your customer journey and having that clear plan and roadmap. So I want to stop right now and say, if you're thinking, well, I already have a roadmap, I already have systems and processes in place that I use and plug into, I think that's amazing. That's amazing because you don't have to reinvent or recreate some things that are already there for you. This is actually something that I'm going to break down today that you can use alongside of the systems and processes that you already have in place in your business. But again, like I said before, what most entrepreneurs tend to miss is really just having the clarity and understanding of what that customer journey looks like from beginning to end. And there's actually 3 parts. So when you think about your customer, okay, I'm going to break down kind of the 3 parts. The first part of that is kind of where your customer is at without your product or your service, right? It's kind of life without the implementation of your product and service. So meeting your prospect, your customer, that person, well, not a customer yet, but meeting that person where they're at in their personal life, in their business, right then and there too. So that's part 1 of the customer journey is you have this person in their life, right? Maybe they're frustrated, maybe they're not feeling well, depending on what your product or your service is. And then all of a sudden, when you do have that customer, it's now, what does that customer's life look like with the implementation of your product or service? Because we all know, right? Like we have many, I'm sure, customers that buy our products, that enroll in our courses or services, and they do the thing and they buy, but they never really follow through and they never really implement, which is crazy and strange, right? To me. But that's what I want you to think about is what life looks like when they do implement that, right? That is the first part of the customer journey. You have these 2 bookends. You know who it is that you're looking to help and attract that's going to be the best fit for your products or service. And that customer journey is everything in between. So those are the steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3. So that's something where you may have a system already, but I want to challenge you to really think about and write out. It's so important putting that pen to paper and thinking about what does my customer journey really look like during that time period from beginning to end, right? When you think about, especially if you're building your business online, we have our warm market, we have our cold market. So let's say you tap out of your warm market. Now you are entering into the cold market world. Those are the strangers, the people that don't know us, right? So your customer journey, in order to even acquire the customer, it's like, well, where are we going to find and attract that customer? What are the things that we're actually going to do? So that might be part of your customer journey. What are the exact things that you are going to do in your business? Like I said before, you might already have a system in place. A system's great. Don't get me wrong. A system is great. But a system is only good if you align and are connected and it's congruent to you and what you stand for and how you want to build your business. Because at the end of the day, you are the CEO of your business. Am I right? So when you think about your system, now you get to kind of be in the driver's seat and think about, okay, I have this system. What are the things that work for me? What's effective about this system? What's not? You can make your tweaks and changes along the way and make it your own. Again, without reinventing the wheel. We don't necessarily need or have to do that sometimes. But when it comes to creating the first part of your customer journey is to begin thinking of, okay, so I don't have that customer yet. right? But if I'm building my business online, maybe right now your step one is, where am I going to find and attract those customers? Where are my future customers hanging out? Who are they listening to? What are they reading? Like all the things. What groups maybe are they a part of? So you can start to dial in and hone in on your process. A process is something that you can plug in and do over and over and over again. A process is simple. A good process is simple and it's duplicatable. So you can not only do that with one person going from, not having your product to acquiring that customer and doing it for the second one, the third one, for the 10th one, the 100th one, right? You can do it over and over and over again and really dial in and hone in on that process, that journey that truly works for you. So I'll just give you some examples, some tips for you to think about in creating that. And again, reach out if you need some help and support with this. I love strategy. I love dialing it in, especially creating an aligned strategy that works for you. And sometimes it takes, communicating and talking it out so that way you feel less alone sometimes when it comes down to that. But those are some of the things that I want you to think about, okay? Where are you going to find and attract those people? Now, once you find and attract them, maybe it's through a reel, maybe it's through some of your content, right, that you're putting out there, or something that you posted in a group. That's one piece of it in the customer journey, but they don't automatically jump to become a customer, right? If only it was that easy, right? I would love that. I think all of us would. So if they're not quite ready to become, that customer of ours yet, especially if they're in the cold market and they're a stranger and they don't know us, what we need to do then is think about, okay, they don't know me yet. What are some of the things that I can do, me and me alone? What are some of the things that I can do to build up more of that credibility and influence over somebody? Maybe it's a warmer market that hasn't talked to you in a while, that relationship kind of dwindled, or maybe it's that cold market person that absolutely doesn't know you. What are some of the things that you can then do to build up more of that credibility and influence? Because here's the thing, when we think about people that just blow up their businesses overnight, most often it's these people that are influencers, these people that have influence over their audience, okay? And oftentimes when you have influence over your audience, guess what? They know, like, and trust you even more. And that's what it takes to acquire the customer number one, right? We need to build up that know, like, and trust. So different things that I kind of look at, in my day-to-day, how do I know? How do I know if they've built up that know, like, and trust? And I want you to think about some ideas for yourself as well. But some of the things that I like to think about is, are they engaging with me on my content? Are they commenting? Are they sharing my content? Are they going back and forth with me in conversation? Those are some key indicators that let me know that I've built up some know, like, and trust to then move them to the next part of that funnel process, getting them closer to becoming a customer, right? So I want you to think about, again, going back to, what does your customer journey look like? What are the specific things that you're going to do to not only take them from where they're currently at right now, life without the product, to becoming a loyal customer of yours in your organization, okay? So, and once, conversations are so key. Once you can get conversations happening, and part of your customer journey is, okay, what's next? What if you have a conversation with somebody and you all of a sudden, ding, 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 find out that they are a fit, right? For your product or your service? Then what? What is that next step that needs to happen, right? So that's how I want you to be thinking about part one of your customer journey, okay? Let me know if you're with me. Let me know if you're getting some value from this. And again, make sure, if you're not a subscriber yet, if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe, like and subscribe too, because that's just going to help me put out more meaningful content that's going to help you with where you're at in your business. And it also helps you to get notified anytime I release a new episode. I'm going to be releasing new episodes every single week and going deeper into all of these areas, in business. So If we're meeting for the first time, welcome, welcome. My name is Melissa Kidler, and I, as you can tell, I just get so excited to share back my skills and knowledge when it comes to creating a thriving business online. And what I'm all about is creating more simplicity, profitability, and fun in your business. Like if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. And I was told that and I was like, that kind of hurt a little bit. How can I have more fun? How can I make this process easier, more enjoyable, something that I just love and look forward to every single day? So I'm going to tell you, friend, like this is what I'm all about, and I hope you are too. So if you are too, then I think we're besties already, and you're going to love a lot of the other content that I'm going to be sharing on this page. But okay, enough about that. Especially if we're meeting for the first time, I just want to make sure that I introduced myself. But the second part, so when I talk about the customer journey, I just went down and broke down the first part of the customer journey. Can you imagine like what might be next? What's the second part? Because there's actually three. I'm going to break down 3 parts of the customer journey. The second part, so now that you have the customer, right? It's those next steps. What's next? So when you think about those next steps for your customer, again, think back to customer journey. Like when you think about a journey, you have a starting point, like a middle and an end. It's the journey, right? What happens in between, right? So that's what I want you to think about. Part 2 of this customer journey is what's next, because this is all about, again, coming back to building a high quality and loyal team, right? That's what I want. It's not about the quantity, it's quality over quantity. Working smarter, not harder, okay? That's what I want for you. So now that you have that customer, I want you to think about the customer journey. Think about, okay, what's next? What's in my customer's best interest right now? How can I set myself apart from everybody else on social media selling the same thing, right? So I want you to think about, well, that's maybe more of maybe a personal touch. It could also be maybe you do have a system in place, but again, what does that look like for you? You can maybe tweak it a little bit to make it your own, to make it truly work for you, so it's aligned with you and it makes you really feel good to be that person of support for that person. We don't just want to like acquire that customer and say goodbye, right? Because I was going to wait and share this at the end, but it costs you the most money to acquire that new lead and customer. Did you know that? It costs you the most. It costs you the most to acquire the new lead and customer. It's either going to cost you your time if you are building your business organically, or it's going to cost you money if you are spending money on advertising, or both, right? It might cost you time and money. So we don't just want to acquire that customer one time and say goodbye and let them go. We want to make sure that we have systems in place. And it comes down to, again, getting clarity and having that clarity and direction on the customer journey. So now think about part 2 of that customer journey. Maybe you're thinking it can be different for everybody, but maybe you're thinking those first 30 days are crucial. Maybe it's the first 30, 60, 90 days. It's crucial. What does that look like for you, okay? From the moment that they enroll as that customer, are there certain things that you're going to do? Are you going to email them or message them and say, hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let me know if there's anything I can support you with. In the meantime, while you're waiting for your products, this is something that I recommend, or this is something you can plug into. What does that look like? You might have a system in place, but it takes, again, having the clarity on what does it look like? Do you have it mapped out? So if I asked you what your process is, can you show me? Is it something that's simple and duplicatable that you can do over and over and over again? So that way it makes your life easier too, right? When you get the second one, the third one, and so on. So thinking about what does that customer journey look like in between, even when they get their products, following up with them. That's the whole follow-up. Follow-up is so important. Sometimes the money is in the follow-up too, because we don't just want to acquire that customer one time, but we want to build up that know, like, and trust, that experience where it's like, oh my gosh, that Sarah or Amy or whoever it is, like, for you want them to think like, I had the best experience, right? I had the best experience, and what are they going to more likely do? they're going to refer you. I'm sure of it. I'm sure that they have other friends and family and people in their networks that may be struggling, with the same thing that they are. So imagine that. Imagine when you take them through the system. And again, what I'm not saying is pouring all of you into every single person every single time. Because when you build a really, really big team, that can be exhausting. That can be super, super draining, right? But you want to be able to still, what might you be able to do to still keep that personal touch? And sometimes the bigger your team is, maybe you can have more of those systems and automation when it comes to text messaging or emails and things like that. But when you're first starting out and you're starting to just acquire that customer base, you can do that. You can do that personally, and they're going to be super, super grateful for you for that, okay? Okay, so I'm hope you're getting value from this. Make sure you like this video. If you're getting value, drop me a comment too. I'd love to know if you are already implementing some of these things, or maybe if you are implementing some things that I haven't yet mentioned that really work for you. I'd love to share. I'd love for you to share that with me and this community too. I think the more that we can all just work together and support each other, the better everybody is, right? The better off everybody is. Now, last but not least, I want to share with you the third part of the customer journey. So we talked about the first, acquiring that customer. Now, once they become that customer, those next steps. And that third part of the customer journey is life after that. Like after those crucial 30 days, what's next, right? When you think about, again, retaining your customer base is so, so important because like I mentioned before, it's gonna cost you so much more time and energy and effort and money sometimes to acquire that customer. So what can you then do? What might you be able to do further on when you think later on down the road after the 30 days to have in place? And sometimes, here's the thing, you might be thinking, Melissa, I really don't know. I'm kind of at a loss. I really don't know, or I would need some more support and help with mapping that out. Again, reach out. Let me know. I'm on all the socials at Melissa Kibler. Reach out to me, direct message me. I'd be more than happy to help you with that. But here's what I want you to think about for yourself. Think about where you were. Right? Think about where you were before you got access and using your products, or before you got introduced to this service or opportunity or whatever it is that you're a part of, right? And think about your life back then. What is something that you needed to hear? What is something that could have helped you? Again, it's refining the system. So maybe if there's something where I wish I had that, or I wish I had this, that's something where now, guess what? You can make it your own. Add that in. That's going to be that you factor, you ink that's going to shine through, that gets you to stand out over everybody else in this crazy, noisy online social media space. So that's the biggest tip I can give you, is if you're kind of struggling or challenged with this right now, with the customer journey and kind of laying that out, do your best. And really think about what is something that could have helped me to take them through, first, second, third, those steps, those essential steps to acquire and then to retain and to keep that loyal customer base. Okay. So I just shared with you the three parts of the customer's journey. Okay. Now, one more thing too that I want you to think about is, when you get off of here, I always try to give some actionable steps that you can do later on today or this week. What I want you to think about as far as implementation of this, I want you to think about, you must first determine where you're at. Okay, when you think about the customer journey, where are you in this? Okay, you're either one of three things. You need help getting consistent, customers. If that's you, I would focus on the first part of the customer journey, with where and how you're going to be acquiring these customers in your process from beginning to end. What might that look like? Okay, that might be a starting place for you. Or you're the second thing, you're already getting consistent customers, but you're not retaining them. They're kind of falling off. So if that's you, then I would take a look at, well, what are you doing their next steps when they're just getting started? If it's not truly effective and working to keep that customer around, what are some subtle tweaks and changes that you might make to help with that. Sometimes in that initial time, when you can help them create those quick wins, on the product or other testimonials. Sometimes also, if your company has more than one product, it helps to expose them and educate them on some other things. So that way, if they're wanting to try some new things, it keeps them around longer. But obviously we want them to have a really good win. We want to have, our products for sure, they got to be amazing, right? They got to be amazing for them to want to stick around to buy over and over and over again. We got to have that 100% belief and conviction, and they're going to then have that belief and conviction as well too, when they're consistent on the products and they're working and all the things. Now, if you're the third person where your customers are kind of falling off and not buying again, think about like that second or third part of the customer journey, because you can get the customers, but if they're falling off and they're not sticking around, that's an area where I want you to think about what might you be able to do on the back end that you haven't done yet to include in your customer journey, like your overall system and processes. And also too, one other area, if this is you, if you're struggling or challenged with this, is, sometimes the customer's great, but you want to make sure that the customer is the best fit. Like, are they actively searching for what you have? Is it something that they have a true need for the long haul? And also think about what are their qualities, and characteristics when you think about that high quality customer. So that way, when you go to actually find and acquire the customer to begin with, they're more of that like-minded fit that are going to be better for you and your company, your organization, your products, all the things for them to, stick around for the long haul. Because there are, again, different customer journeys for each one. So really identifying kind of where you're at in the process will really help you to hone in and be able to really just have that central focus. I think that focus is huge. Set a goal. Set a target for yourself, but it starts first with understanding and knowing that customer journey. So listen, make sure again that you subscribe to this channel somewhere around this video here. And if you're not already subscribed, because that way, again, you're going to be notified of a new training episode that is released. I'm going to be sharing new episodes every single week. That is my commitment to you here, especially this year. And you know what? Really, at the end of the day, this is what I want for you. I want you to be able to be equipped with the tools and the resources and the skills to build a thriving life and business online, okay? That's something that I want for you. It's so important to me in doing that and building that, even for myself too. And what I'm all about is just keeping business simple, profitable, and fun, letting go of everything else. So let me know if you're with me. Let me know if I'm not alone. But if that's what I'm all about, and I hope you are too. So again, make it a great one. You're amazing. Remember, you, my friend, were born to thrive. So I want nothing but the best for you. Make it a great day. And until next time, we will talk soon.